What I'm going to talk about is very controversial, but I don't really care because it is what it is. Butterfly tattoos are something that I've noticed that a lot of people who are not themselves have. So long story short, these are people with entities, right? They've got entities around them. They are controlled, right? Their vessels are basically for entities to really have their way with, right? And I've got plenty of stories. I'm going to tell you guys some of them, but they go on. Since starting this channel, I've had to kind of immerse myself in YouTube, right? If I'm going to be uploading YouTube videos, let me see how it goes, right? How people structure their titles and thumbnails and all that shit, yeah? I'm watching all sorts of videos in every niche, car videos, dating videos, even the youth, what they're doing, spring break videos. And watching a lot of this content, first off, it's extremely soulless, right? The youth, they're cooked, like, it's all sexual, right? Everything's about sex and hooking up and casual sex. We know this. But watching these videos, I mean, you can start seeing patterns in these women. Pop the balloon videos, dating interviews, public interviews, things like that, right? It's the same females in these videos. They've got the same characteristics. How they talk, certain patterns that are getting, right? You guys have been seeing girls do this, right? They're catching on to, certain trends that are trending. It's the same females doing these type of things, right? They're dressed a certain way, right? I mean, everyone's wearing, Nikes, Nike Dunk Lows, right? It's the same pattern. Nothing's original, right? And a lot of these unoriginal women, a lot of them have butterfly tattoos. It's usually not even discreet. It's somewhere where it can be seen. Worst case scenario, if it's discreet and they've got a lot of clothes on, you'll be able to see that tattoo when she's got a bikini on or something, right? You'll always be able to see it. So the butterfly tattoo, what does it mean? Why does every whore have it? Why does every promiscuous woman have it? The butterfly tattoo basically lets you know that this woman, she's evolved, right, into something else. That's what the entities want to let you know. My host has evolved. She's no longer what you think she is, right? And again, some of you guys you may be with a woman right now. It may be your girlfriend and she has a butterfly tattoo and you feel as if she's different. Okay, I get it. It's not gonna be 100%, nothing ever is, but this shit is fucking accurate. The people that I've seen in my reality with butterfly tattoos, again, based on the other things that I see that are clear red flags, I already know what it is I'm dealing with, right? Some of you guys on semen retention, and I always tell you guys, in certain phases of your journey, you're gonna come across certain women, and these are tests, right? If this woman is coming at you with a red dress on and you see a butterfly tattoo, do you think it's the woman that you may want to consider having a long-term fling with? No, right? She's a test. So being able to read these things, you'll be sure that, okay, nah, I'm good. She's got a red dress on or a green dress on. That's another one. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Witches love green dresses. They love putting those on. And then she has a butterfly tattoo. And then you look at her eyes. She's got that, they call it the 1,000-cock stare, right? She's seen miles of dick, right? And it's in her gaze. It's a very distant gaze. There's no limbo ring there. the gaze is distant. She's knocking on your front door and you're on your first month or two of retention. That's a test, right? You know not to do anything with that female. This stuff is very interesting, and I think it's one of those things. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And this is going to give you, it's just going to be another easy out, right? It's gonna be an easy invalidator for certain women. The second you see it, you just know, nope. I've got a cousin. I've got two cousins, right? They're both virgins, and I've talked to them about the importance of their virginity and the value with it. And in 2023, they were both seniors in high school. They were nearby. I'm in the Atlanta area, right? They went to school nearby. Now they're off to college. In 2023, one of them had a friend that I told her, this one's not good for you. I mean, you guys are all in high school, you're innocent now, but based on a tattoo that friend got, I was able to tell, my cousin, hey, this one is not going to be around you long term. Assuming that you want to be at a certain frequency, you want to maintain your virginity, you're gonna end up cutting her off. And she's young, oh my God, no, this is my friend, we're best friends. Okay, cool, I get that, proximity. Most relationships are built off proximity. You go to school with each other, okay, you're gonna feel like your best friend, okay. Now, this friend of theirs, I asked her, she got this dumbass tattoo of a butterfly on her forearm, right, to put it simply. A big ass butterfly on her forearm. When I met that friend of theirs, I asked her, like, why'd you get that tattoo? Like, she's just like, I don't know. Okay, do you like butterflies? She's like, not really. So I'm like, well, why the fuck did you get the tattoo? You know, and she started feeling uncomfortable, you know, they're teenagers, so I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, my cousin's next to her, you can see, and she can see, she knows me, she knows I can deep dive a lot very quickly. So she just kind of, you know, she helped soothe her friend, and we changed the topic. Later on, we talk about it, and I tell her everything I just told you. You know, your friend's not gonna be around for long. And I showed you this, right? She doesn't know why she got it, but she got the tattoo, right? Long story short, this friend goes to college. She goes to Athens. She goes to UGA, and quickly gets her first boyfriend. That doesn't last. And now, based on my cousin's reports, she's out there now, right? She's going to the bar. She's doing it. She's going through the phase, right? My brother is a bartender sometimes. Funny enough, we don't drink. We both don't drink, but he knows how to mix drinks, you know. He might do a little finger test and whatnot, but we don't drink. And he had to go bartend an event 2 weekends ago. And he's bartending, and bartenders are the ones who see the most, right? Bartenders have to talk to drunk people. You hear the most. Like, if I'm a cop and I want to get details about, you know, a crime scene I went on at a bar, I'm gonna go talk to the bartender, because they get told things that they never want to hear a lot of times. My brother, he got to see the people who were going to be drinking throughout that night and who they were. He had conversations with them. Throughout the night, my brother said there was a woman that he was watching, for example. She seemed classy. She seemed well put together. And as the night goes on, you know, she's coming to the bar and they're chatting and, you know, casual. And eventually, you know, the drinks kick in, right? And the night goes, it gets darker, and the music starts getting more sexual. And eventually the girl just unleashes, right? She starts twerking, she starts doing her dance, whatever. She's having fun. And he sees a butterfly tattoo around her breast area. I think she's wearing a dress that's kind of revealing. And he sees a butterfly tattoo, and he's just like, fuck, right? And after noticing that, he says that he noticed she just got more ratchet as the night goes on, right? I mean, she's just like in a different zone, right? The girl was doing her thing. Her true colors started coming out, right? The entities started taking over their host, right? She started to do, you know, ratchet ass dances, ratchet ass movements, whatever. Okay. There's another individual, Jordan. Jordan might be watching this video, right? He's on semi retention. I met him at the basketball park. He lost his last streak to a woman that he met at some party. And we're talking about this as, you know, we're taking casual shots, and he's telling me about what happened, and I'm like, yo, you know, was she attractive? Not really. You know, she was a little big. Okay, you know, what'd you do it? He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know, you know. I think he was drinking as well, so they were under the influence. And I asked him randomly, Jordan, did she have, so they had sex, right? He lost his nut. And I asked him, you know, Jordan, did she have a butterfly tattoo by any chance? And he like freezes for a second and looks back at me and is like, yeah, how'd you know that? I'm like, I didn't, just a guess, just a wild guess, right? Just a random guess. Yeah, she had a butterfly tattoo, and she came, took his nut, and ran off with it. They don't talk anymore. He told me that. They don't talk, nothing. That was that. Lost his streak. Now, there's an individual on my Discord who I've been talking to for months now. It's been a long time. He's one of the first ones on my Discord, actually. And there's a woman who's a nurse who he would just go on these vacations with. And all they would do is have sex. So their relationship was purely physical. They would literally book a getaway in Puerto Rico or something, right? It might be Puerto Rico, but they would get away, leave the country together, and get a little villa, whatever, and do their thing for a weekend and come back out. And he got to a point to where he amassed 6 months, and basically every single streak he would amass, the girl would push and push for them to do another, vacation, right? It got to a point to where he started realizing that this girl was draining him, right? But again, he's still in his lustful phase. And the temptation, she's a pretty woman, right? She's attractive. He sent a picture. She's got a good figure. But, those of you guys who know anything about nurses, nurses are some of the more promiscuous women in career women, right? And, every time he would get on the streak, she would pressure him. Yo, let's go on vacation. He keeps giving in. And one of the last ones that we talk about, he tells me, yo, man, I told her I'm not gonna do it, she wants me to go on vacation. I told her that I'm not gonna do it anymore. So, I told her no. Long story short, that didn't last. He ended up going, right? Again, the lust is strong. He ended up going. She kept pressuring him and he lost his 6-month streak. And I asked him, bro, he sent me a picture of her and she has a massive tattoo on her thigh. So seeing that tattoo, I'm like, why would she not have a butterfly? Like, you get that tattoo, that big ass tattoo on your leg, you probably have a butterfly. So I asked him, did she have a butterfly tattoo? Oh, yeah, she did. Right? Of course she did. I saw her face and everything, and you can see in her eyes, she's got that stare. I just know that that's a succubus, right? She's here for one reason and one reason only. And again, the clue is, brother, she hits you up when you're fucking radiating life. She hits him up when he's full of seed, right? When he's full of his seed, that's when she hits him up. But you guys got to be able to pick up on these patterns, man. They show up for one thing and one thing only and then disappear. You guys have to have discernment, man. There are many, many other patterns like this that can tell you a lot about a female and who you are dealing with. A lot of these baddies you guys are fiending over, they're not real. These are entities, guys. And again, they're just here for one thing and one thing only. And I feel bad for you guys because you're in a low state to where you can recognize them, right? You're on a short little streak and you can recognize them for what they are. But then your brain is still very sexualized. So oftentimes, I'll be honest with you, these are some of the finest women, right? They're very attractive. These are some of the most seductive women. And the Matrix has it like that for a reason, right? The biggest temptations you'll have, it's gonna be by quote unquote NPC women. And they come in very, very seductive packages. You need the discernment, guys. You have to be able to see through them because you're just gonna keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. The temptation is strong, but you guys are seeing the pattern. You're wanting to rise above these lustful desires. You have it in you to do it. It's just recognizing things and not putting yourself in situations, you know what I mean? That's why pattern recognition, I mentioned this is my favorite aspect of, my brain being seminated. I can catch situations before it happens and know how to place myself so where it doesn't impact me, right? So many encounters, you guys, so many one-on-one situations, I see them coming. Okay, this girl's isolating herself so that she's gonna catch me when I'm done. So she knows I'm gonna end up here. She's placing herself there. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go through this door because I see through her. She got a butterfly tattoo. She's just, nah, I'm good. It's past the point where I even want to entertain or talk to these women just to talk to them, right? Because her energy is already low. I don't want to take in any of that, It's very, very bad out here, man. And just seeing it on YouTube as well, like every other girl in these videos they have a butterfly tattoo, right? Or even flowers to a certain extent. They both have the same thing in common, right? Both of those represent phases, right? A flower starts as one thing and ends up being another. A butterfly starts as a caterpillar and ends up being, something else. The entity is literally telling you what it is. For the example regarding my cousin that I mentioned in the beginning, just because she got the tattoo, at the time when this girl got the tattoo, her friend, right? She was a virgin. But again, everything has energy, shapes, symbols, colors, numbers, they all have frequencies. The butterfly tattoo, because of the fact that so many whores have it, it now has a certain frequency. It comes with a certain energy. So you getting that tatted on your body before you start getting freaky or doing any freaky shit doesn't really matter. You've got that energy and you're gonna tap into it. Odds are really good that you're gonna end up tapping to that frequency. Guys, it's post 2020, man. It's post It's post-pandemic, right? The times have changed. You guys need discernment. You can't be out here with all these women and they're literally telling you what they are. You can't be out here entertaining random women. Like, the game is different. This isn't pre-2020 when the vibe was different. Everyone's moved on, or at least they're pretending to move on, right? Not realizing something drastic just happened in our planet a couple 12-month cycles ago, right? The game is now different. So you guys need discernment, because at the end of the day, you're fucking your frequency up big time by indulging with these women. And I'm not gonna get into it, right? I've kept certain things at bay. I don't want to talk about certain topics just yet, but yeah, you can't, one of the big reasons you can't just go out here to the club and make out with random women, right? They're hijacked. What's in their DNA, what's in their saliva, if you're having sex with them, what's in there, those fluids, you don't want to be mixing yourself with that right now. Use your discernment. I'm going to put this short up. This is a short by Gary. Gary is a numerologist. Arguably, he's the best numerologist in the world right now, and he's really pushing this and making it mainstream. A lot of people, when they hear about these things, they think it's woo-woo, doesn't make sense, because, the green-haired feminists, the blue-haired feminists have kind of given astrology and numerology a bad rap, right? You guys know when you hear certain things, they tell you certain things, and it sounds like the same shit. It sounds like what you told this guy, right? It all sounds the same, right? And that's why a lot of people, run away from that stuff, because it sounds very generic. Well, Gary's taking it to a different level, and he's showing you how, the numbers and the astrology, the Chinese astrology, all these things, they make sense when you're taught them the right way, right? And you're taught what they really mean. So you have a masculine figure now trying to push numerology. And I'll tell you guys this, he's not, you're either gonna love him or you're gonna hate him. Gary's a very specific character. But in my opinion, and I think he knows this, you have to be a certain character to push, to make this stuff go mainstream. You can't be nice, in a sense. So again, you're gonna love him or hate him, but he's a video by Gary explaining the butterfly tattoo and what it really means.
Evolution means different things to different people, and as we're going to discuss, even things. What we're looking at here is the cycle of life. Caterpillar to butterfly. Some call it evolution within evolution. And this is one of the most beautiful things in nature. You see how something is a lower organism and it becomes something more evolved, a higher organism. But you see, sometimes in life, things don't always look or even seem the way they should. One of the most popular tattoos in the world is the butterfly tattoo. Literally millions of people, including Andrew Tate, have had a butterfly tattoo. And one of the things you're gonna notice with people with butterfly tattoos, and again, this is something you guys can look for yourselves. Don't take my word for it. You guys look all around you and see what your own eyes tell you. One of the things about people with butterfly tattoos is they're extremely aggressive sexually. They had a lot of partners. And one of the things I can tell you is one of the signs of possession, yes, actual possession by a demon, is aggressive sexual behavior. Some might call it being a slut, whore, whatever. Goes on both sides. But this is what it means. And what you have to understand is when a demon starts possessing someone, they leave signals to others who are in the know, just like the Illuminati, the Babylonian Brotherhood, leave signals that only their kind will recognize. So when someone is possessed, they might not even know they're possessed, but for some reason, all of a sudden, they want a butterfly tattoo. A lot of celebs have them. There's Queen Latifah with one. A lot of celebs happen, and I'm willing to bet most of these celebrities are possessed. See, the demons, they leave code to each other, and one of the codes is a butterfly. And the reason they chose that code, because they have a sense of humor, and their sense of humor is when they take over a host has evolved into a butterfly. This is satanic coding being publicly shared with you by GG33. A majority of these people are possessed. You will tell it with your own eyes by seeing their increased sexual behavior, increased sexual partners, which is a sign of being possessed itself. And a a lot of sex workers and a lot of people who'd be considered sluts and loose right now are gonna get upset with me. But it's okay. I'm not mad at you because I know it's not you. It's that demon inside of you. And now you know.